If you'd love to rent a proper one-bedroom flat in central London, this video is for you. I looked at hundreds of listings to find the 6 best apartments currently available to rent at £2,000 a month or less. Let's get started, and don't forget to tell me in the comments which one is your favorite. This flat is listed at £1,950 a month, and it is in central London just south of the Thames and not far from Tower Bridge. Bermondsey station on the Jubilee line is only a 3-minute walk away. It's just over 42 square meters or 456 square feet, and it has a nice square shape. It's pretty straightforward. The bedroom is fine, there is enough space and a good amount of storage. Then the bathroom is not the biggest, but it is fully tiled, it has storage and a window. The living room is also a good size, although the furnishing is not the most inspiring in my opinion. I do like the bench here around the table, but the sofa and chairs look pretty tired. The listing says that all of this is staying, so it is something to think about. And maybe see if the landlord would accept to remove them if you like the place, but not the furniture. It's not guaranteed that the landlord will accept, but you never know. Actually, in one of our previous flats, we negotiated in the lease that the mattress would be removed. But then when we moved in, we decided that we wanted to upgrade to a bigger bed, so we wanted to get rid of the bed frame. At first, we asked our landlord if it was okay to dispose of it, as long as we replaced it with an equivalent one when we moved out, but it turns out that he actually needed the bed for another flat, so he came to pick it up himself a few days later. So it worked out perfectly for us. I actually have a video where I show you this exact flat I'm talking about. I'll link the link below if you're curious. All of this to say that we always hear about evil landlords, but decent people with common sense also exist. Anyway, back to this listing, the kitchen is spacious, clean and modern. It has storage, lots of counter space and a full-size fridge. There is also a communal garden that they quickly show at the beginning, and I think it looks nice. So I think this is a good first option. We are staying south of the river for the next property to look at a flat advertised at £1,950 a month, which is in southeast London in Rotherhithe. It's super close to the Thames, it's a 10-minute walk from Rotherhithe Overground, and it's not far from Canada Water either, where you have the Jubilee line. It is very spacious for a one-bedroom flat. It's 65 square meters or 700 square feet. All rooms are very spacious and there is a big hallway as well. The living room looks amazing. There is space for a large sofa and a dining table, and look at this wall. The exposed bricks really add character to the room and give it a unique feel. I noticed that there is no space between the top of the window and the ceiling, which indicates a lower than average ceiling, I think. So that's something to pay attention to during a viewing. Ask the agent what the actual height is, and if it's definitely not the usual dimension, make sure that it doesn't bother you. The kitchen is also very spacious, and I really like the window on this wall. It gives the vibe of an open-plan kitchen, but you could also close the window completely if you're worried about cooking smells. On top of that, the kitchen is very well equipped. There is plenty of storage and counter space, all appliances are integrated, and it is in good condition. Moving to the bedroom, we also have this exposed brick wall which I love, and the room is huge. There is space for a double bed, or even a king size if you wish, a good amount of storage, and they even set up a little office space. The bathroom is also very spacious. It has a cupboard and a shelf for storage, a bath, and a big mirror. Moving to the extra perks of the building, there is a concierge and a gym. I also find it very intriguing that they are advertising the nearby pool in this listing. I know this area very well, and I've seen the pool in question with my own eyes during a viewing. So I can tell you that this pool is part of the next door development, which is fully gated and has a 24-hour concierge team. So I'm very curious about this use of the pool mentioned in the listing. Does this mean that there is a special agreement for the resident of this building to use the pool? I find it a bit odd, and it should definitely be investigated further if you're interested. But anyway, even without the pool, I think it's a very cool flat. The next place is more central and it's also cheaper, but I wasn't sure if I should share it with you. I'll tell you why in a second. The flat is advertised at £1,750 a month, and it is very well located. It is in Shepherd's Bush, a 5-minute walk from Shepherd's Bush station, where you have the central line, but Notting Hill Gate, where you can catch the Circle and District lines, is not far either. Now, this flat is not the biggest. If we look at the floor plan, we can see a large open-plan kitchen and reception room, a small bathroom, and what they have the audacity to call a bedroom. It's not even 4 square meters, and it's not square either, so I don't even know if we can fit a bed here. So keep this in mind when we look at the pictures, but I still thought it was worth showing. The main room is spacious and very bright, thanks to the big windows. There is space for a sofa and a small dining table, plus a little bit of storage. The kitchen is also quite nice. There are lots of cupboards, a large countertop, and integrated appliances. And we also have a big closet over here, which will definitely come in handy. Here's the bathroom. As I said before, it is small, but it is practical. It's fully tiled and there is a shelf to put your stuff. Now, this is what they call the bedroom. Honestly, it looks more like a big closet with a window. However, it looks like you can just fit a double bed, nothing more, so maybe we can call it a sleeping area. So I decided to show you this listing because the location is amazing and the price is not bad for this area. And even though it's not a proper one-bedroom flat, it is more spacious than a studio and you have a dedicated sleeping area. And I know that it could be a good match for some of you depending on what your priorities are. If you want to see how it compares in terms of price, I have another flat to show you in the exact same location, but it's a proper one-bedroom flat this time. We are looking at a flat that is listed at £2,000 a month and that is also in Shepherd's Bush, but slightly closer from the tube station. It is almost 53 square meters or 570 square feet and it has an open plan kitchen, a proper bedroom with balcony, a spacious bathroom and a big hallway. The reception room is not the most wow, but it looks clean and spacious. There are 2 windows, space for a big sofa and a dining table. The kitchen is spacious as well and practical. There is storage, all main appliances and a large countertop. Now onto the bedroom, which is very spacious. There are 2 windows including the door leading to the small balcony. It's tiny, but at least it exists. The space in this room is not used to its full potential, but that's all we need, potential. You can make it yours by adding your own furniture. And finally, this is the bathroom, which is spacious but a bit dated, nothing too exciting. I wanted to show you these 2 places today so we can compare objectively. They are in the exact same location. The first one was smaller, cheaper, but also slightly more modern, while the second one is a lot bigger, but also more expensive and a bit more dated. Which one would you pick? I'm actually curious, let me know in the comments. The next flat is advertised at £1,950 a month and it is in central London. The location is unmatched if you're looking for a Zone 1 flat. You are a 2-minute walk from Marylebone, and you also have Edgware Road, Paddington and Baker Street within walking distance. This apartment has a very modern open-plan kitchen with lots of storage and integrated everything. Oven, microwave, fridge and dishwasher. The living room part has big windows, which is super nice. Otherwise, it's an empty room, so there isn't much to say, but it looks big enough to set up a comfortable living room. In the bedroom, you can fit a double bed, and there is this interesting little corner which would work well for a home office setup, I think. And finally, the bathroom looks fantastic. There is a big window, a big shower, storage, it's spacious and brand new. It's a 10 out of 10. I rarely see anything decent advertised in this neighborhood for this budget. But when I do find a good listing, I share it in my free newsletter. You can sign up below if you'd like to receive listings like this as soon as they become available. The next flat is advertised at £1,850 a month and it's located in central London on the east side, near Tower Hill. It's a 10-minute walk from Tower Hill station. It's just over 40 square meters or 445 square feet, with a large hallway and windows on 2 walls in the living room. The living room is big enough to add a dining table like we can see in the picture, and it looks modern and well maintained. To be completely honest, I am a bit disappointed by the windows. They are quite small and the room doesn't seem to be super bright. This could be just an impression though, and maybe the picture was taken on a dark day. But that's something that I would carefully check during the viewing. There is a little balcony that is big enough to fit a table and a couple of chairs, so that's nice. And that window is part of the flat, by the way, it's the kitchen. Speaking of which, the kitchen is spacious, has decent countertop space and storage, and a window obviously, which is a real highlight. Moving to the bedroom, it's a good size, it looks comfortable and clean, and there is proper storage. Finally, the bathroom is nice. I really like the tiles and that there is space for storage here and here. The current tenant apparently decided to use the shelves for plants, but you could use it for your own stuff instead. Something that I wanted to point out about this listing is the last picture, which is a view of St. Catherine's Dock, which is a lovely little area of London. If you've never been, it's a very nice spot to start a walk by the Thames. However, having this picture here makes it look like the flat is in the dock, which is not the case. They're not lying, they're clearly saying in the description that the flat is moments away, but it's the kind of grey area that agents love to play with to make a place more attractive than it really is. I just wanted to mention it because it is a good example of how agents glorify a listing and why you might end up disappointed. But anyway, the flat itself, even though it's not inside the dock, is still very well located. And it's a good option in this area of London right now. Don't forget to tell me in the comments which flat was your favorite. And if you'd like to see what else you can find for this budget, I am sharing 6 amazing 2-bedroom flats in this video.